We're all looking for something, whether it be balance, healing, deeper connections, money, or inner peace. It's out there. We've just been looking in the wrong places and looking in the wrong way. In today's episode, I'm going to reveal to you where it's located and how you find it. Let's go get that nugget. Welcome, ladies, to the Life Mastery for Women podcast. I'm Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, your host. This is where we go to learn to master our life one nugget at a time. Hey everyone, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you nurturing your inner peace. If you're not nurturing your inner peace, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. So I have to tell you, in the very beginning, I record the short that's 17, 18 seconds long. And it was 17 times I pushed recorded it, didn't like it. The 18th time, I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. I'll use that one. And I just realized I hadn't hit the record button. It's days like that where I'm like, should I record today? Or is this going to be kind of a disaster? But that's kind of life, isn't it? We have to practice things. Right? Sometimes we have to do things 17 times before we get it right. So if you want, stop this episode, go back to the beginning, listen to that intro. That's number 18. See how you like it. Hopefully it's okay. Anyway, so, when I think of all these little messages, we get throughout the day, and if we pay attention, we get all the signs that we need. Let me ask you this. Have you ever played a sport? Now, the sports that I'm thinking of are a little bit more one-on-one, like bowling, darts, pool, something that is like you're standing still and you're like bow and arrow, you're trying to hit a target, something like that. And the reason I say that is because I got a couple of dart boards for Christmas. And I used to play darts with my stepdad all the time when I was younger. And I really like it. I'm not terribly great at it, but I do really like it. It's kind of this calming, focused activity. And sometimes I need that between tasks that I'm doing for my job or for my business. And you kind of stand there, you relax. It's like bowling, it's like billiards. You stand there, you relax, and you're focusing on what it is that you're doing. And like darts, you're standing there, you're going to hit the bullseye, you're going to hit one of the numbers, whatever. And you throw the dart, or you hit the ball, or you send the ball down the alley in bowling, and it didn't go how you wanted it to. It curved in the wrong direction. Your release wasn't quite there. You didn't throw it hard enough, so it dropped and it hit a wrong number on the dartboard. And then you get another turn, and you readjust. Oh, I got to throw it harder. I got to send it faster. I got to straighten my arm. I got to, you make that small incremental adjustment. Well, today, I want to talk about how life is a game like that. And if we learn to play the game, we will learn how to live the life. How many of you are living a life that is a little bit frustrating right now in some area, whether it's relationships, health, your spiritual connection, your money, career? There's just a little bit of frustration, and you want things to be better, to be different, to be create a little bit more happiness. Well, I'm right along with you. There's always growth to be had, but here's the small incremental adjustment. The very first thing, when I said in the very beginning, is when we're looking for inner peace, we look outside of us often. If you're like me, I'm picking up books. I bet I buy maybe half a dozen books at least a month, and I will read those books. And some of them I buy them as collectors, but I consume knowledge. If I'm not reading a blog or watching a video or taking a course or reading a book, something's wrong with me. I mean, that is constant for me. My number one passion is learning, and it's everything. And my number two passion is applying, because I read a long time ago, it doesn't matter what you learn, it only matters what you apply. Well, just like darts, if I'm throwing the dart and I'm aiming for a certain part on the dartboard and it was a little low, my next throw needs to be a little higher or a little faster. The dart dropped a little bit. Somehow I need to make some sort of a correction. Well, we don't realize that life is a game. Life is meant to be played. And if you're not having fun in this game of life, it's because you don't have the rules. It's no different than going out with, your kids or some friends or some peers and going to, quote, play a game, but you don't know the rules. And so they're just like, oh, no, you're out. Or they hit you with the ball and you can't catch the ball and you can't kick the ball and you don't know what to do and you don't know where to run. It becomes very frustrating very quickly. Well, in all of my episodes, I'm at like 400 and some episodes now. It is about learning the rules of the game. The number one rule is the answer is not out there. The answer is in here, and that's inside of you. The answers that you need are inside. I keep hearing that. I've read it a ton. Lots of big people, spiritual teachers have all said that. I'm like, what does that even mean? Well, that's why we begin with that meditation practice. For one, you are going to like yourself a lot more if you get to know yourself, because the behaviors or the beliefs or the idiosyncrasies about you and the things that you don't have in your life, that is only because you're not making those little adjustments in your life. You're not understanding the rules, so life can be kind of frustrating. Well, if you're looking for inner peace, one of the ways is to not go out there. So when I say in the beginning that to look for inner peace, you have to know where to look. It's not out there. It's not in a bottle, in any kind of a bottle. It's not in a beer bottle. It's not in a medication bottle. It is inside you. It is energy tucked away. The real version of you, the real version, the spiritual version of you is the real you. And that real you is peace. It is happiness. It is abundance. But when we don't have those things, my first question when someone comes to me and says, I want to have harmony or balance or inner peace or abundance or whatever said thing. And I go, what's your relationship with you like? And they go, what the heck does that mean? And I go, do you have a meditation practice? And they go, no, I tried. It's too hard. I can't focus. I can't sit still. I fall asleep. I got too much going on. I don't have enough time. And I go, okay, how important is this thing to you? Oh, well, it's really important. My health is declining because I'm like in a constant state of stress. And I go, okay, now let me ask you, do you have a meditation practice? And they go, I don't know what you mean. And I go, your relationship with you is number one. That is where peace is located. That is where abundance is located. That is where your deeper connections are going to come through, is based on the amount you have for yourself. If I don't have a sense of abundance, I'm not going to create abundance outside of me. If I don't have a sense of love and connection for myself, I'm not going to have deeper connections outside of me. Everything you want happens through you, not to you. It comes through your body and is projected in kind of like a hologram out in front of you to experience. So now I ask you, do you have a meditation practice? The deeper the connection you have with yourself, the better your human experience is going to be. Bottom line, the deeper the connection you have with yourself, the better your human experience is going to be. So just take that in for a second. What are the things you're looking for outside of you? And then from that space, what is that relationship like with you? So if I'm looking for, let's say my relationships are terrible. I don't have many friends. My relationships that I do have are very surface. They're toxic. They're not feeling very great. And then I go, what is your relationship with you like? Most of the time it matches what the relationship is outside of you. If you don't have a lot of money, and I go, what is your relationship with money? I hate it. Well, there you go. I feel like there isn't enough. Well, there's your answer. So here's how we're going to look for this. We're going to start going inward. Every single one of my episodes, every single one of them. I don't know. I can look right now. There's 425 episodes. This is number 20. 420. I have 420 episodes, and every single one of them says everything is energy. Go inward to look for things. Deepen your connection with yourself, and you deepen your experience, your human experience. Isn't that amazing? I just have to go inward. Okay, then the next question is, the next bit of resistance right after that is, yeah, but Jen, I tried. And I go, listen, how important is it to you? How is what you're doing working for you? Most likely it's not. I sat back. I am definitely stubborn. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't like someone trying to control things or my outcome or whatever. So I like to break the rules, and I like to go around things and do things in my own time. And even if I agree with you, I'm going to wait till later to actually do it just because I'm stubborn like that. But I remember reading, I'm not kidding, probably 1,000 books on meditation, spirituality, money, relationships, health, healing. Oh my gosh, all kinds of books. And I remember coming to the conclusion one night in the middle of the night going, there is no other way. There is no other way. The only way is in. The only way is in. Inward. Introspection, meditation. And the meditation doesn't have to be sitting for hours with your legs crossed and lighting incense, though I never meditate without lighting incense. Yes, I do, but I love incense. The only way is in. That is where inner peace lies. Now, you can fight against that because I did. I continue to buy books and read, and every single one of them says the exact same thing. The overall premise is it's not out there. There is no out there. It is just reflecting outside of you. So I go, okay, how much longer am I going to look outside of me for that thing if it's not there? Do you have kids? Have you ever experienced when they lose something? Like, I remember Cameron lost a shoe, and he, where's my shoe? And I'm like, I don't know. I said, well, let's go look for it. And he's looking in the bedroom, and he's looking under the bed, and then then he goes in the bathroom, and he opens the dryer, and then he goes in our room, and then he goes in his brother's, and then he's looking up, and then he opens the refrigerator, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I expected him to say, I've been looking so long, I need a snack. He looks at me with these teeny tiny little eyes and his teeny tiny little lips, and he goes, I'm looking for my shoe. In the refrigerator? Why are you in the refrigerator? Why would your shoe be in there? Well, I don't know where my shoe is. I'm like, well, it's likely not in the refrigerator. So I'm looking for inner peace. It's not under the bed. It's not on the roof. And it certainly isn't in the refrigerator. Though sometimes, Amy makes some really, really good desserts. It sort of feels like inner peace to me. But anyhow, it's not in the refrigerator. So we have to stop. And I stopped Cameron and I go, when was the last time you remember having them? Right now, in this moment, he is looking for something physical in the physical world. He's looking for something in the physical world. And I stop him from looking because now he's looking in the fridge. I stop him from looking and I have him go inward. He's looking for a shoe, you guys. I have him go inward. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. When was the last time you had him? I had him today at school when we had gym class. Okay. So keep going. Do you think you left him at school? Nope, I didn't. And all of a sudden he pops his eyes open, big smile across his face, runs across the kitchen to the back door, unzips his backpack, and there's his shoe in his backpack. He put it in there after gym class. He went inward to find his shoe. But he spent, 20 minutes looking for it outside of him and had no luck. That is how we look. That is making the incremental adjustment. I'm looking in my brother's room. I'm looking in my parents' room. I'm looking in the laundry room. I'm looking in my bedroom. I'm looking over here in the living room. I'm looking in the refrigerator. And then you're like, okay, it's not there, right? Okay, stop. Go inward. There it is. There's the shoe. Okay. That's what we're doing. That's what all of my teachings are about. And it's about all the hows. How do I meditate? How do I go inward? When I close my eyes and I think about things, how do I do that? What does that feel like? What does that look like? Because as soon as you do it, you're going to be met with some sort of resistance. Something is going to, quote, go wrong. Oh, I tried to meditate, but I couldn't sit still, right? I tried to look for my shoe, but I couldn't find it. So it wasn't until he went inward, then he was able to find it. So now we know, where do I look for inner peace? We look inside. Okay. Now, how do I find it? Because not only was I looking in the wrong places, but I was looking in the wrong way. Because before, he's looking for a shoe around the house. And I said, we have to go inside. And he goes, okay, close my eyes, breathe in. When was the last time you had it? Ask a few questions, go inward, go inward, go inward. Boom. I get the idea. There it is. Okay. That's the different way we're going to look. Now, I do want to give you a little heads up that I do have a retreat that we talk about the chakras, the energy centers, how to balance, how to uncover these blocks in this way, like what I'm talking about today. And it's called Rise Up and Revitalize. There's a lot of R's in my programs. I'm not sure if because Rise Up, but Rise Up is about stepping into your power, stepping into being empowered and managing your power so you can create the life that you want. Create the life that you want. Not live the life you want. I mean, that's there too, but to create it, we have to become empowered. And this retreat, so you have to be on the lookout for it. I have one coming up in the middle of, in the last episode, I said at the end of the month, at the end of January, I actually moved it. It's February 10th. It's an all-day event. We just moved it. It was going to be 3 short days. We moved it to 1 full day because the momentum is going to be great. So if you are interested, check the show notes. You'll see the link in the show notes. Otherwise, if you're a part of my Facebook group, just send me a message and, hey, when's the next retreat coming up if this happens to be after February that you're listening to this episode. So Rise Up and Revitalize. But this is what we're going to be talking about. These are kind of the nuggets. But I want to give you something. So, all right, the first, I've already said it 12 times, going inward and looking. So stop looking in all the other directions because it's not out there and start looking inward for it. Okay. The next is how to look. Now, when I talked about darts and billiards and bowling, is making those incremental adjustments. Now, this is what I call recognize. This is the stage where we recognize where the blocks are by looking at our life. So after I throw the dart and I go, oh, it was too low, the next dart needs to be a little higher. So I'm going to look at my life and go, what areas of my life are not working? What is my number one complaint about life right now? And there's always one. We always have one. Okay. And then it always falls into one of 4 categories, mostly one of 3 categories, but it's health, wealth, and relationships. So if someone says, I hate my boss, most likely it is a relationship issue versus a career issue. Now, if it's, I'm in a dead end job and I'm not making enough money and I hate my job, well, then that's careers. Okay. So first is to recognize, where am I getting blocked? What area of my life, the outside, I'm looking at the outside to see what energy is blocked on the inside. Okay. I'm looking at the outside of my life and deciphering. I'm putting my scientific hat on and going, okay, what in my life is not working? What key area, health, wealth, or relationships? Then I'm going to figure that area out. And now this would be my environment. That is one area that we can recognize where there's a block. That is the physical thing. The block is physically showing up in my environment. My relationships are terrible. I don't have enough money. My health is bad. My career is terrible. Whatever the environment. So first, one area is I can look at my environment. What is showing up in my environment? The next is, how is this block, or where is this block showing up physically in my body? What happens is energy is like a garden hose. You have a spigot, you have a garden hose that's connected to the spigot, you have a sprinkler at the other end that's watering your garden, and that garden is your life. The spigot is the life force energy. That's the energy of the universe. That's the creative energy that is moving through us. The hose is you and your chakras, your energy centers. And the sprinkler is a life force energy that is creating my garden. So either my garden is mediocre, there's some weeds, it's some dry, I got some flowers growing, but some aren't, or it's vibrant and beautiful and radiant and luscious, and or it's holy moly, it's dry, it's dusty, it's dead. Okay? Those are the 3 things I'm looking at my life. Now, when I recognize that there's a block and I'm looking at my environment, or I'm looking at my physical body, and I go, oh yeah, there's a block. If the hose, which is your chakras, has a kink in it or a clog of some kind. Now, when I say a clog, that's usually some other stuck energy or limiting belief that is preventing that life force energy from flowing. Like you could have a block in your heart chakra that says, yeah, relationships are hard. All the good ones are taken. I really am not good at relationships. I'll never find the right person. That is a belief. And that belief has stuck energy. And that stuck energy is kinking the hose, if you will, and not allowing life force energy to create the relationship that you want. Or it is clogged like past relationships. Let's say your parents were divorced. And then somewhere in there, you have the deep-seated sadness and grief from your parents divorcing, even if you were 4 when it happened. And you never overcame it. You never released it. You still maybe resent your parents for getting divorced. And that energy is now a clog in the hose. And that clog in the hose is preventing life force energy because you think every relationship ends in divorce. So why bother getting married? Why bother even looking at a partner? So there's different ways that the hose gets kinked like that. But either way, it's kinked. You look at your relationship, goes, yeah, my relationships suck. My garden is dry and dusty and dead. And that's how my relationships are. Okay. Physical, when that hose gets blocked and wherever the kink is, right between the spigot and the kink, there's pressure building. So think of the garden hose. Water is pushing through there, but there's a kink in the hose. It is building pressure. That's happening in your body. So it shows up physically. Your shoulders, your neck, your hips, your low back, your knees, your ankles, some joint there's a kink. So now I can look at my physical body and go, where's life force energy getting stuck? Where's this block? Why isn't inner peace flowing into my life? Why isn't my garden luscious and vibrant? Well, oh yeah, I've got some pressure in my back. Well, there's a kink there. Which chakra is that? Well, it depends on what area you're looking at. Because if it's your money, then it's your root chakra. If it's your career, it's your root chakra. If it's your relationships, it's your sacral chakra. If it's your health, it's your solar plexus. So it depends on what the environment is that you're looking at, but you still have it in your body. You go, yeah, that's where that energy is kinked. The next is your emotional state. That's another one of the places that it gets blocked. Your environment, your physical body, how your body physically feels, and your emotional state. Now, when I say your emotional state, I go, what are your top 3 emotions that you feel in any given day? Well, irritation, contentment, and boredom. Okay. None of those are really positive flowing energy. So you can say, yeah, my energy, my emotional energy is not flowing very well. My vibrational state is not very high overall. And I go, okay, well, there's a block. And depending on what emotion, there's going to be chakra that is blocked. Now, what do you think we do to the next step? Once we go out into the world and we look at our environment, we look at our physical body, we look at our emotional body, and we go, something's blocked, look at here, look at here, look at here. All of those relate to a specific energy center. Now we can look at the hose and go, oh, it's kinked right there. No kidding. And so you respond, which is the next step, respond to the findings. And I'm just going to objectively I'm not going to attack myself. I'm not going to find out how long I've had the problem. I'm not going to uncover whose fault it is. I'm not going to call my mom and tell her she should have raised me different. None of that is going to happen. So we're going to respond. We're going to write down. We're going to see what the blocks were, and we're going to respond to them. The third step, and the most powerful step, is we're going to release the block. Now, this is all stuff we're doing in this day retreat. So if any of this is interesting to you, if you are recognizing your life is going parallel and you're, oh yeah, as I'm saying, oh yeah, there's a kink right there. I hate my job. Oh, and there's a kink right there in my low back. I don't get paid enough. That's your root chakra, honey. That is your root chakra. And so now we go in and we release, we respond, and we go, oh, there's the things. My emotional state is scarcity. I am like constantly frustrated. That's all the root chakra. Now you know which chakra we need to pay attention to. We are doing that in the retreat coming up. And if it's not February 10th for you, because it's after February, make sure you reach out and say, hey, I want to be a part of that retreat. It is not expensive. It's a 1-day retreat. I want everybody to be able to get into it because inner peace is available to you. It's just, you got to look in the right places and you got to look the right way. So is this making sense? I'm like, is this cool? Are you guys getting this? And if you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe, send a comment, say, hey, ask me a question, put anything in those comments. Like, I want to hear from you. I want you to take in this podcast and go, you know what? I want to reach out to her and I want her to answer this question, or I can tell you what chakra is blocked. I didn't even do that, but you got to respond, subscribe, share. Please share it. If you think somebody else out there is suffering from something similar to what you have or something completely different, share, please. I would love that. I would really love that. So once we get into the third step First one is recognize. Second one is respond. Third one is release. Yeah, we're going to let go of the kinked hose. We're going to manipulate the hose and unclog it to get life force energy to start flowing. It's a beautiful experience. It has these amazing results for people. It really does, because once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't matter if you've had it for 37 years. It's gone. And I have a really powerful way to do that, and a really powerful way to be able to release what is clogging and showing up dry land in your life. Whether it's money or creating a deeper connection or better relationships, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the thing is. It only matters is the releasing part of it and letting it go. And it's amazing to be able to do that. And then the very last step is to reset your mind. Because once you empty a bucket, let's say you're in the rain and you've collected some rain, your bucket is full, and you go over there and you dump this rainwater on your plants, and then you leave the bucket upright. Anything and everything can collect back in that bucket. So what I'm saying is we have to be very mindful once we have released energy that we fill it with a new truth. We fill it with something more empowering. So instead of relationships are hard, is relationships are beautiful. And it takes two amazing people together to make a beautiful relationship. And I can have that. Once we can release the belief or the blockage and we can move that energy again, and that sprinkler over on your garden starts kicking out beautiful, refreshing water to nourish and nurture your garden, it's not going to be long before your life is amazing. So in the final segment, the resetting your mind, is we're going to be creating new truths. And it's a beautiful, beautiful process. And what makes it so beautiful is that you can do this and you can change your life so drastically and so quickly. I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll reach out. I have a Lady Rising group on Facebook. Say you came in through the podcast, ask your questions, share your experience, ask about the retreat. It'll totally be worth it. As we conclude today's episode, I'm thrilled to share something special with you, our Rise Up and Revitalize virtual retreat. Imagine a transformative experience designed to elevate your mind, body, and spirit. It's not just a retreat, it's an invitation to rediscover your potential. Are you curious? Join us for a journey of renewal and empowerment. Visit the link that I added in the show notes to learn more and embark on the next journey of your vibrant life. Until next time, keep looking for those nuggets.